I always love opening my videos on a gross sound, so for the people watching the stream, fresh recording.
Oh, right. About that.
Did you forget, you
Faye,
dumbass?
I need to tell you something kind of important.
Trish already said that they were quitting the band for a hiatus after Battle of the Bands. What are you talking about? This should be like a reminder.
Yeah? What's up?
I wanted to talk to you about touring some.
No, but when you say Battle of the Bands is my last one, then it's implied you're not going on tour in summer. Because it's close enough. It's April. That's pretty close to summer in my perspective.
So, you know how a while back I said I wanted to go on a break from...
Worm Drama. Our champions. Congrats on a killer performance, kids. You blew everyone away. In the dark, no less. Anyway, as you know, winners of the battle go to Caldera Fest. But I wanted to come and personally confirm it.
This moment is so good for LJ. Like, this is a really good LJ moment. Weird that we never got any.
You in?
Yes, yes. We are so in.
Glad to hear it. I'll let you celebrate.
But it would have been a great moment to have Trish stand there and like get increasingly angry as it's like you're not listening. You didn't remember. You weren't listening. You don't care or something like that. What's a worm drama? Oh, Krish is one of the guys who's into don't play. One of the guys that's into Swamp Babies, I think. He's such a sad sack.
Good show.
Like Trish literally brought up the break. Like, Fang, are you this oblivious? With your own friends. Everything okay? That's the more sympathetic one. You know, let him talk.
Are you guys alright? Like, did something just happen? What's wrong? Aren't we celebrating?
Yes, totally. We
What picture is Trish stretched out?
are celebrating. Dude, that was amazing, right?
Okay, remember when I said that Reed doesn't like confrontation? This is kind of the scene where I get that from, because I want you to look at Reed. This is such a nice little character moment that could have been established earlier in the story instead of being the one to confront Mrs. Roberts about things, and it feels kind of
I'm happy for you. Really. For us.
Good subtle writing. She starts off with, for you, because it doesn't matter to Trish, and then for us as a sort of a correction.
But I don't think we're on the same page about Caldera Fest.
Shouldn't that be your... Like, I don't care if you think about the band like that. It should be you, because it's Fang specifically, Trish.
What do you mean? This is what we've always wanted. We finally proved ourselves to LJ, to everyone.
Like, for Fang, it works, because Fang is oblivious. But for Trish, who should know this and has thought about this, it should be more obvious that it's me and you, or me and Reed, we, versus you.
We're doing it. What? What is it? This is our chance to do what we love.
For a story that seems to have been built mostly on characters just failing to communicate, it just keeps going. And
That's what you love, Fang. You never asked what we wanted.
Then what do you love?
Then what is it? Well, what do you want to do instead?
I wish I had more time for entomology, to hang out with Rosa, to play L&L. There's so much more I want to do.
What about us?
But what about us?
What?
It's cool that you want all those things, but the world is ending. And you don't even want...
The world is ending? I thought... I don't know about you, but... like, we haven't gotten a newsflash update or anything, and like, Fang is saying... I don't know, maybe work on that plot detail a bit more, show that people are actually taking this seriously, even if they're pretending they aren't, like, it's in the back...
want to spend it with me. With us. I thought we were important to you, too.
Of course you are. I'm not saying I want to stop being friends.
Then why are you quitting the band?
I have other friends, Fang. If all I do is rehearse for what you want, I won't have any time to see them.
You mean one other friend.
I know Caldera Fest means a lot to you, and I don't want to take that away from you. I just need time of my own. Maybe you could do Caldera Fest as a solo act.
What?
Like, again, it'd be kind of cool if instead Fang is like, okay, I'll just do it as a solo act then. And then Trish gets offended, or not. Like, all those character moments before this moment, right? They put the meteor on pause until they had the whole thing. Like, I guess the implication is that because the power has gone out a couple of times, they're more worried about it. But put that a little more to the forefront because it's a little too subtle. Because again, Reed is like, oh, the building is just old, so it's already diffused a little bit. But like, you can make this a good moment for like, how well are you doing? If Fang and Trish are on good terms, Fang and Trish can resolve this amicably. If Trish is on bad terms, but Fang is confident, Fang's like, okay, I'll just do a solo act. Like, clearly, I can work on stage alone and work the crowd. I'll just work alone. And Trish is like, no, Fang, no. If Fang has low self-esteem, has low Fang points, but good Trish and Reed points, they're like, listen, Fang, you need to do this. You gotta do this alone. Like, if we're gonna live up our dreams, if I'm gonna live up my dreams of Bug, then you should live up your dreams of music. And then they're supporting Fang and they're pushing. If they're both shit with points, then Fang just shuts up and this conversation just derails into nothingness. And that way, anyone who's gotten those affinity points, like, oh, this is cool. Maybe if you did poorly in the performance, or heck, if you just have low Fang points, Fang botches the performance. But if you have good LJ points, then LJ is sympathetic. But if you have low LJ points, then maybe you don't even win. Again, winning Caldera Fest is irrelevant for the story, because they put on their own performance at the end of the world. So who fucking cares? Like, from a plot perspective, this is just a beat that helps establish certain characteristics. There's so much you can do with it. The asteroid was about to land, and then I saw him standing there. I walked up to Principal Spears, but he told me to stay at a safe distance. I wondered why. He told me that some business needed to be taken care of. I asked him what business he could possibly have at the end of the world. He simply looked me dead in the eye and said in words that will stay with me forever, I intend for there to be a next year, Mr. Moose. Dismissed. The image of him shirtless will be burned in my mind forever. I am uncertain if I was terrified or in total awe, but I saw the sublime, and it was shaped. I don't even want to talk about it, really. See, Reed is in such a bad spot, and we're just kind of looking over him. I guess that's part of the point. Remember, he's lore master. He's literally, like, leading several teens through a fucking dungeon, and somehow he can't resolve this conflict. Fuck you, Reed. Get the fuck out of here.
You could totally pull it off. And LJ's obviously in your corner now, so...
Again, great moment to have character points matter. Like, if they're all... If you had the affinity system worked properly, this would be a great moment of, like, Reed doesn't support. If you have good points with Reed, Reed stands up for himself. Like, Reed will defend you if Trish goes overboard, if you have bad Trish points. And then they're like, oh, well, LJ isn't on your side, but at least you did... So much you can do with this. It's such a good nexus for all those character points. We get nothing. If you hung out with Mrs. Roberts, like you took your college seriously, Mrs. Roberts like, oh, you're such a good student. Maybe Mrs. Roberts or the parents sent like a little text of like, we're rooting for you, kid. Oh, I heard you won on the intranets. You know, that kind of stuff. There's so much you can do with it. And they did the basics. This is not a video game. This is a proof of concept at best.
No way. How could you even suggest that?
Hello? You killed it on stage before Reed and I joined you. Obviously you got the skills. You don't really need us up there with you.
Every time they put Trish in the foreground like that, I keep thinking like they want to skimp out on the lip syncing.
The only reason I was able to do all of that was because I knew that you and Reed were gonna pack me up.
Again, would have been great if they took that Nasser scene, the Nasser scene, which is less impactful because it's just Nasser. But you put it earlier in the story, and you make it this moment where you train the player, like, okay, when you get into a conflict and the emotions are running high, Fang starts saying stupid shit, and you gotta pick the right option. You gotta be fast and on your toes and select it quickly before it fades away forever. And you make that a whole little gimmick cutscene, and then maybe we do it again, maybe with Naomi, maybe with Fang's parents, like Fang's parents call, or they have a conversation, and then this is like the time where you have to prove that you've mastered the art of selecting the right options. You know, to earn some brownie points, or maybe, if you get Sterling, if everyone is maxed out, then cool. You get through this sublime. There is no argument. You skip it. You're doing so good. The game is like, here's a kiss, here's the bouquet, here's the golden trophy. You can just leave. Don't worry. There's no combat. There's no social combat. You can just leave. You've won the game, buddy. Let me roll out the red carpet for you. Let me put down the pictures.
You have always had my back. Why are you leaving right when it matters the most?
Always had your back? Fang, you were specifically angry about Trish not wanting to do the ritual before the show, right? You were angry about that, upset, or at the very least you cared. Trish has not always had your back, buddy. There's a couple of other times, too, like Trish has bugged out. Remember, they had a band meeting on the roof. And Trish slid out of that conversation. Trish left one of the early band meetings for what songs they were going to play. Trish has not had your back for a while, Fang. Pay the fucking attention already. Goddamn. It's like they showed, but they're telling me differently. And that's even dumber. Whoops.
Okay, come on,
When have you ever had my back, Faye?
Poor Reed is just sinking away. Poor guy.
We've always done what you wanted to do, and that's fine.
I like these new mouths they're using for Trish. They're really a lot more energetic. They really communicate that strong yelling.
But there's only so much time we have left. I can't spend the rest of it following along after you. I need to think of myself, too.
I really like that there's so many options. Would have been great for like a social combat system where you have to pick the right options. You have to be careful. Careful. Be very careful. And then we say nothing, which is even weirder. Storage. Why is it called a green room? Sunset. Why is there a curtain there? Is that like the entrance to the main stage? That actually makes sense. Too bad we never established that. Why isn't Swamp Babies in the... Isn't Swamp Babies like a band that's participating? Shouldn't they be back there after they were done? Or are they sitting in the main... Swamp Babies were robbed. Oh, did she change her name? I'm gonna laugh my ass off if she's down here and her name isn't updated. Because she's posted before. Okay, listen. Alright? You wanna know? Listen. Shut up. Sit your ass down. You want to know how you make this work? Here's something you do. You make the posts and everything. You assign them to a character. All right? Shut up. You make that the backbone. But then you have a list. A special list of like, what is their actual display name? And that display name list is dynamic. It depends on where you are in the story. So if you're in episode 1, they use these names. In episode 2, they use these names. A tiny little detail. But if you use it right, it's like everyone's name updates. Worm Enjoyer suddenly is like, Worm Drama for life. And Claire's like, Swamp Babies is going to win it as they get closer. And they made me nervous. Like, I don't know. What does it matter if the world's going to end? I don't know why it matters if the world's going to end. I think it's nerves. You know, they're teens. They haven't lived their lives and all that stuff. But yeah, like the Claire thing, I know it's a tiny detail, but if you're going to build this, make it easy on yourself. Don't hard code it. Make it into, like, actually build like a tiny web app that you run on your stupid video game. It's really easy to do, all things considered, because once you have the display capabilities, once you can display this information, like the background text is like, that's a sneeze and a cough. Heck, you can have Claire's avatar update too. Being like, if you're in episode 6, after this flag, you use this version of Claire's image, and it's like a do not interact sign with a nah, don't talk to me, and it's cuter. It's cuter because they can scroll and go, oh, like 1 out of 1,000,000 people will notice, but they'll be like, that is so clever, and I love it, and this makes me truly love this game. You never know who cares about those details. I do, because I'm a pedantic bastard who yells a lot. Look at all these cute... look at the lady on the left. I love braids. Braids are such an underused hairstyle. They're so good. Look at them.
Dang!
Stella's hand was rotating around one axis. That's not how your wrist works. At all. And your wrist is not that smooth, is it? Nope. Also, your fingers would kind of move as you wave. Because that's just the natural... Because your fingers are not that rigid. Just saying. Oh, that's so awkward.
Too bright. Oh my eyes. Someone get the power again.
That's the wrong face for that.
Dang, you guys were amazing. For real. Chills. It was magical.
Oh, by the way, I saw Trish and Reed pop out earlier.
I can't believe they ditched their biggest fans in their hour of triumph.
What a voice crack. That's great.
You must have known you were going to make them sign your face.
So quick thing. So obviously this is some sort of burner phone, right? This is not Naomi's phone. Why isn't Naomi like picked up a cute little like? It would have been so easy for Naomi to pick like a little pretty hero's avatar or something or anything. If it's a burner phone, if it's not, then should Naomi have like a? I'm thinking too hard about this stuff. I care too much about these goofy little details. I care too much. Don't ever make me run your project. I will make you regret it. I will come to your house at 2 a.m. in the morning, and I will tell you, listen. I need you to make the line 1 pixel taller because on some resolutions it gets shrunk down. You can't see it, and it flickers in and out, and it's really annoying. Who's gonna notice? People are just gonna open the. Someone is gonna scroll, and I don't want them to see it. Yeah, Real Lobster. You can read it and get new options. That would tie into the idea of like doom scrolling. Like doom scrolling is a thing you can do, and it gets you access to cool information and pictures and all that fun stuff. But it makes Fang's mood worse. Like it costs Fang energy, and maybe it unlocks more doom options. Like hell, some of the positive options go away because Fang is so depressed because you've been looking at too many doom things. I don't know. Oh, classic Swamp Babies L. You love to see it. Riley, turn your location on. Glad Swamp Babies lost to BH. Why are they even competing here? They've lost. They've won so many battles. Yeah, this is what I mean. They've already won the battle. Why the fuck are they still competing? Can't LG just throw them in? It's implied they've won at least twice, at which point LG should just let them in. And let someone else win for once. Fuck you, LJ, you loser. Are we gonna meet... You know what, I'll leave this up to you. Are we meeting them right now, or are we... Go now. Would I make a perfect project lead? I talk about that a lot. But I don't know if I got what it takes. I don't know if I got what it takes. I don't know if I got the long... Would I have the long... I don't know. But I'll never be a project lead. Because in order to be a project lead, you need to have certain skills. Social skills, networking skills. And I don't have those. I'll never cheese my way into a conversation. I would love to be to try it out, though. Because I like trying new things. Be project lead. Get to yell at people. I get to be a producer. I get to yell at people and I get to pretend that I did something. And then in the credits, I'm above everyone else. And I get to go and sit there during the debut and go, I don't deserve to be there. But for some reason, project lead goes first. No, I'd probably be like, hey, put the programmers first. You actually put in the goddamn work. Voice actors, programmers, and then I get to sit somewhere at the bottom with the C-suite. Rubbing elbows. God. I would have so much to say about how the credits are organized. I would have so much to say. First off, the people who made the game go first. Everyone who isn't even involved in the creation of the game gets a special section that's called, they didn't do anything, but they insisted. Oh, I have bad ideas at the wazoo. I'm a voice actor. I'm a programmer. I can write. I can draw. I can lead your projects. I can single-handedly make your game a true disaster. Sure, it won't be the game you wanted, but everyone will talk about it for years to come as the biggest, most beautiful bonfire they had seen in their life. They'll talk about this dumpster fire for so long, this train wreck. You will be remembered in the annals of history as the man who put that moron in charge. And that is a prestige you cannot get elsewhere. Only with me and my capacity for utter ruin. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just. Listen, I think I could probably do it. If I really tried, I think I can do a lot more than I give myself credit for. But I like hamming it up a little bit. It just feels right. Someone is sending me cute art, and I have to say that's cute art to them. I'm sorry. I'm legally obliged to. Like I wouldn't intentionally bugger it. I would do my best, and I would probably get a little hung up on things, and some people would get angry at me. But I'd like to think that I could probably make it work. I probably wouldn't make it any worse. And you know what? Sometimes that's good enough. Let me just relax for a moment, because otherwise I'm going to get into a chuckle fuck mood, and we don't want that. I would like to lead a project. Do I have the Toby Fox attitude? No. Toby Fox is a unique man. He has an insight, an eye for detail that I can only dream of imagining. Like, goddamn, Toby Fox knows. That man feels like he just ate a dictionary and he just knows every word and how to play with them. It's impressive. Maybe in 10 to 20 years I can get there. Undertale level, not Deltarune. Don't think I can catch up with that man. But the problem is, who would I ever sign up with? I don't know anyone, and nobody knows me. Like, that's the funny part. The people that know that I want to do this aren't the people that know that I can do this, that need it. So anyway, let's stop the poll. How many votes did we get? 3 votes. Okay, people want me to hang out. Well, fine, we'll hang out. The project lead, say that we're gonna hang out down the street. Let's stay here for a little bit.
Oh, yeah, they probably just needed some air.
Oh,
What is our orbit like? By the way, if this game was cool and designed by smart people, this is the moment where Trish exits the orbit temporarily. Trish just ejects temporarily outwards, so that when you go here and you have a good Trish score, like, oh no! Maybe Nasser gets a bit worse. Maybe Reed gets a bit worse. Maybe Reed gets closer because he feels like he has to do something. He feels more attached. I don't know. Play around with your systems.